Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. Today we have a second part of the budget yarns that are available where I am, and we've got some unusual ones this time. We've got some recycled yarns, we've got some stationery yarns, we've got a new one that's just come on the market, done by a local designer, maker, whatever you call people who make yarn. And I've got some clarification from the last video on why I didn't include it and what it means. I also have a project from the last lot to show you what it was like, so we will get into it. Oh, these aren't sponsored either. First up, we have some 12-ply yarn from Spotlight. Now, this yarn I didn't include last time, and I should have. I had questions about it. The 12-ply Marvel, this is it here. It comes in about, where are we? About 7 colours in this one, and I think there's a few more in that one. I didn't look it up, I am sorry. It's a nice yarn to use. I don't use it a lot, so I don't have many of them. But this one, they're both acrylics, but this one has got like flecking through it. You can see that. And this one I have used. I made a big blanket with it. And it's all right. It does give you the denim effect, but it is very loosely wound, and I don't know whether that's the way it was affected with the paint, with the colouring. I don't know. I did find I had a little bit of trouble with it splitting, but if you're aware of it, it does come up beautifully soft. I made a block blanket from memory, and this one I have used for bigger toys and some blankets, and it's all right. It's I think it's a 5.5. 5.5 size hook, 200 meters on a ball. There's quite a few colors in the 12 ply, not as many as the 8 ply, but it's quite a good yarn. And yeah, there's only 7 colors in this. Of course, the blue, the black, I think there's a gray, the red, and I think there's a green as well. So that is our first one. But staying with Spotlight, I was also asked why didn't I include Spot Saver, and I'm going to tell you why. This one here is the original Spot Saver, and this was a hard-ish yarn. It wasn't rough, but it was harder than the 12 ply or the 8 ply, and it was very good to do sculptural things like toys or furnishings that needed to hold a shape because it was a bit thicker. This is a 10 ply, but it comes up more solid than the 12 ply does. The 12 ply comes up a bit softer, so you could even make jumpers out of the 12 ply. I have actually used this for jumpers, but it is not as soft. But they have changed the yarn. It is now called Spot Saver USA style, and in my recent owl bag, the first bag I made with old Spot Saver, and it was structurally very good. But when I used the new Spot Saver, because I wanted to use their nice variegated that they got, it's quite a bit softer, and the bag wasn't as structural as I wanted it to be. So if you're buying Spot Saver to make something hard wearing like a handbag or a floor mat or something, if it's the new stuff with the USA style on it, I would double it up because it's quite a bit softer. That being said, they're both 200-gram balls, and they use a 5mm needle, which is almost the size that you need for the 12. So there you go. That's something to check. Yes, it's the same size needle on the new ones as well. So this is why I didn't include them before. I said it now, so woohoo. All right, so our next one to look at is the Portercraft yarn, but this is their new yarn. And as you can see, it's got the word recycled on it. These are 12 ply bulky weight, also listed as chunky, and they're made from recycled plastics. Now, I went online, all I could find is they used to be called plastic bottles. It's not saying they're only from plastic bottles, but at least we know they've been made from plastic bottles. But they are not rough. They are very soft. And I really like the colouring because it's not a solid colour. It's like very slightly mottled. So this is the purple, this is the grey. It's like a steel grey, tint of blue in it. Really like it. And this is done by Portercraft. all these yarns that I'm talking about now, there will be a link in the description to their various stores. So if you want to get some, you can. Now, when I got these, there was about, I think there was about 8 colorways of it. There might be more now. And, where's our hook? 9mm hook. So it is a chunky weight, 150 grams, and how many meters? 120 meters. So it's about standard for a chunky weight. Really like these, and they're surprisingly soft. So we'll move to the next one. Now this one was a surprise. This is the Officeworks yarn. And when I heard about these, I actually went to our local Officeworks, because Officeworks is a stationery supply store, and the one local one had never heard of yarn from their suppliers. So I went online and I did these as a click and collect, which doesn't cost you postage, bonus. And here it is. So they have, let's have a look. They have over 20 different types of yarn in both 12 ply and 8 ply. And I had a really good think when I ordered them, and I only really got 8 ply because that's what I mainly use. And they've got solids and variegateds. And I had a sneaking suspicion that they might plan pull, and yes, I am going to do a video on what to look for when buying yarns that might plan pull. That's coming up, and these will be in it. And so I got 2 of each of the colours that I got in the variegated. So they're 270 meters per 100 grams, so they're on the thinner side for an 8 ply. They're acrylic, they're all acrylic. I didn't get the 12 ply because, like I said, I don't use a lot of 12 ply, but there is some there. And yeah, I'm quite surprised with it. I haven't made anything with it yet, so I will have to get back to you on what it's like to use, but it feels equivalent to the thickness of the new Semco at Spotlight. Thinner than the Marvel, I think. The Marvel, I think, is a little bit more denser. But yeah, I'm quite surprised and quite happy with what I got from Officeworks. Now, before I do the last one, we also have, if you remember on the last video, we had the yarn from the Cash and Carry. And if you remember, I had these pure wool yarns, these 2 balls of pure wool. And I get a reaction to wool, so I got one of my friends, thank you Denise, to make up a little hat with it and tell me how it went. So this is the hat she made, and the hat used all of the balls. She had enough for a pom-pom, but nothing left. And she said it was quite easy to use, but the one thing is don't wear dark clothes while you're using it because it does shed a bit. But other than that, she said it was quite pleasant to use, and she'd used wool before, and she said it's a decent yarn and very consistent thickness and consistent in the colours, no problems with knots or bad tangles or cuts. So that was good. So that was this one from the last video. And we'll put that away. And the last thing I have is Cotton Cove. Now this is a new yarn made by a West Australian producer. That's the word I want. And this is their new range called Cotton Cove. Now, she has about, where are we? About 10 colours so far, but I think she's bringing in new ones. This is done by a business called Yarns for All. They have an online shop in Perth, which is Western Australia. Like I said, there'll be a link in the description. This is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, and it's a 4-ply, and it feels nice, so nice. The yarn is plied quite tightly, so you'll be able to get quite good distinction in your stitches. It uses, it should be on here, right on the front, a 3 to a 4 millimeter hook. 200 grams in this ball too, which gives you about 600 meters. So it's fairly equivalent to a whirl or a yarn art, cotton, and Yarn Art Garden, I think it's called. So about equivalent in yardage to those. But yeah, it's because of the cotton content, it's got no halo, and so you'll be able to get really good stitch definition. I really like this. And this one was called Teal Blue. And like I said, they're all solid colours at the moment. I don't know that she's going to do variegateds, but the solid colours are really, really nice. So that's the yarn I have today to show you. If you have any questions at all, please write them in the comments. I do try and get onto all the comments as fast as I can. And if you've got this far, could you maybe put emoji of a flower in the comments? That would be really nice to let me know, how many people watched the end. Please like and share in case you know of anyone that might need to know about the budget yarns that are available. And I will see you on the next video.